Mizzou, Harrison, and Texas A&M in College Station. Mizzou does, what's the word beyond unthinkable? The unfathomable.
Unfathomable, unimaginable,
unimaginable.
flabbergasting.
Just use whatever adjective you want. Harrison, you and I, if we were sitting here talking about Mizzou winning their first conference game, period, would have said that was crazy. If we were talking about them winning the series, we would have said that was insane. My friend, we're talking about Missouri going into CSTAT, going into Bluebell, and sweeping Texas A&M, sweeping them. And it all changed. A&M's up 6-3 in the ninth inning on Friday. Ho-hum, no biggie. Missouri scores 6 runs in the top of the ninth inning. They take game 1, and from then on, Harrison, it was like A&M just mailed it in. Games 2 and game 3, because those 2 games were dominating. Mizzou wins. Jake and I talked on Saturday night after they lost the series, so I want to kick it immediately to you because you were texting us like, no way, there's no shot.
Yeah, I was busy then. I was like,
Harrison, we're not joking with you. This is actually happening.
I literally looked, I texted you, I was like, I got to look this up. I can't get fooled by them.
Yeah, your thoughts on Missouri. By the way, over under 3.5 is now in serious jeopardy.
Good thing I took the under 4.5, Chris.
Serious jeopardy. Your thoughts on Missouri sweeping Texas A&M?
Shocked. On the road, Chris, you forgot to mention that. On the road at Texas A&M, after Texas A&M had an insane series win, like I mentioned earlier, versus LSU at home in College Station. I mean, I think that was, we're like, maybe this, A&M team that started as cold as humanly possible, as maybe historically possible for as highly touted and talented as they are, maybe like this is like they go win at Tennessee, they go win at Arkansas, they obviously, they got swept at Texas. That was the all 1-run ball games. Then they take 2 of 3 versus LSU. And it's like, they're continuing to build momentum. You don't want to play this team in the postseason. As great as ball as they're playing, in that moment, to just dismantle of a capping off like what feels like the entire season of just frustration and letdown and just headache. And Chris, I told you guys when I jumped on Friday Night Spikes, the first play of SEC ball that I watched Friday night, because I was calling the Georgia Tech Louisville game, was the last hit. The last out of Missouri, Texas A&M, when the diving catch in right field, that was the first play. I was like, oh my gosh. And I was keeping up with it, obviously, with your group chat, but I was like, this is not good for the series. And I didn't think they'd sweep at all, but I was like, they're going to be in at least one of the next 2 games. But to go into Texas A&M in College Station, Bluebell Park, ball 5 chance, probably not that many bubbles. In every single game that they've played in the SEC, and win that first game the way that they did, ripped the hearts out of A&M. And I think just like the Grinch, just grew a heart more into Missouri and gave them life the rest of that series and the rest of, I think, the season for them. I mean, because they lost a 6-5 ball game versus Kansas, and a really close one, a Kansas team that was just previously ranked. So they've been playing really good. And granted, it's really given us with a grain of salt. Missouri really good, right? And to do that, just go win 4-1 and hold this A&M lineup to what they did with 1 run in game 2, 1 run in game 3. I don't know if I'm more confused about that A&M season, Tennessee's blunders, or what. It's just, I'm still trying to wrap my brain around it. And it's one of those things that I've seen and heard from A&M fans that say this is the most embarrassing moment in A&M baseball history. And I don't know A&M baseball history that well, but I'm probably going to throw it in the top 10.
Oh, at least like, top 5. I mean, do you let an 0-24 team come into your house and sweep you?
As a preseason.
I mean, we were talking about we were talking about this being like historically, like maybe the worst team in SEC baseball history.
Yeah.
This is why we'll probably,
Chris, I think the worst record was like 4 and whatever, like 4-win season.
We'll probably never, this confirms we'll probably never see an 0-30 team. Probably never. So I thought it was really telling too. Guys like Ryan Brauninger and those that cover Texas A&M, they mentioned after the series was over, sometimes in baseball, numbers don't tell the stories. Like they tell the story this weekend. Like,
I don't think numbers tell the story though.
The offense was horrendous for A&M. Horrendous. Saturday and Sunday, it was terrible. It's non-existent. I mean, they had like 2 hits going like the 8th inning in game 3.
They had 2 hits
I think they nailed
game 2, I think.
I'm not trying to take anything. By the way, congratulations to Carrick Jackson. Congratulations.
Yeah, the post-game interview Jake with him was really great.
Mizzou needs to get their props, their credit, because this is a team that has continued to fight all season. If Missouri fires Carrick Jackson, they are officially they are clueless. Clueless.
Well, Chris, maybe we saw the quote from the AD. Maybe after this weekend they'll start investing in baseball more.
Hey, maybe we'll look back, Harrison. This was the moment.
This was a turning point in Missouri baseball program history. Hey, fill up and pack out Phi Delta Theta Stadium.
Dude, they come home this weekend. That Mississippi State comes to
town. It's a hot team too.
Hey, don't let MIZ get hot.
Don't let MIZ get hot, Chris. And if I told you that Missouri at Texas A&M, let alone Missouri, would have 12 hits in game 1, 11 hits in game 2, and 15 hits in game 3, you wouldn't have believed a single one of those, let alone 2 or 3 of them, let alone winning a game, let alone winning a series, and let alone winning and sweeping. I think that was just the biggest. I don't know what was bigger, Chris. It still hasn't really sunk in. I haven't really dove into it enough to come to a consensus conclusion. What was more impressive / surprising in a positive way for Missouri for you? The offensive explosion or the pitching staff and what they did to A&M?
I think definitely the offensive explosion against that rotation. Yeah, I think that was the more surprising part. To score 6 runs in the top of the 9th against, I think that was A&M's dude that they had in the 9th inning pitching, one of their dudes. To scratch together 6 runs to steal that game and then following it up the way they did Saturday, Sunday, I think that was the most. I think that was the most.
I'm leaning the pitching staff. Honestly, because we've seen Missouri hang around with
both were impressive.
With
both
good
were
pitching staffs. Like we've seen Missouri's bats hang around in games facing Hunter Elliott, Riley Max, these guys. In other SEC teams, they've just gotten lost shootouts. Hung around with Georgia's pitching staff. But they have the worst ERA in the league by like triple anyone else. Like it doesn't even make sense how bad they're pitching. I think that their ERA was a 13 and change coming into it. I think I'm leaning that way for sure for what was the craziest and most impressive thing for me from Missouri. But at the end of the day, Chris, doing it on the road.
Harrison, I think the elephant in the room we have to address now is what this means for Michael Earley. A&M season is all but over. I don't even know if sweeping Georgia at Georgia would salvage it. Maybe it would, but like being realistic, is that going to happen? Who knows? College baseball, as we've seen, very unpredictable, but their postseason chances are essentially slim to virtually none. I don't know, Harrison, how Michael Earley can come back from this. I just don't. I don't know how you come back from this. You put together a nice run. I know their season doesn't make sense, but I said it when I talked to Jake Saturday night, Harrison. Here's the reality of it all. Even if they would have taken this series, if they would have swept, they would have made the postseason, went on the road somewhere as a 2 or 3 seed. Barring them making a run to Omaha, and I know maybe you don't agree with me, that's fine. Barring them making a run to Omaha, though, when the dust settled on this season, you would have looked at this season. Yeah, that season in totality was an unmitigated disaster. Like, that season didn't even remotely come close to meeting the expectations we had set out for this team. A team that was preseason number 1, consensus pick by everybody, essentially, to win it all. And you did not even host a regional. Like, you weren't even one of the top 16 teams in the country. And now you're more than likely probably, I'll go ahead and say it. I think I'll say it again. You're cooked. I'll stick another fork in A&M. This team's not going to the postseason. Like, you're done. You are done. So I just don't know how Michael Earley makes it. I don't know how he survives it. I said my piece on Michael Earley a month or so ago after they lost to Kentucky. You know, it's not like I'm pulling for the guy to lose his job or anything. That's not anywhere remotely where I'm at. But I just think if you're A&M, unless there's something behind closed doors that has blown this up internally that we don't know about, I think you got to just accept your L, take it, move on, and you got to go a different direction. Because to take this group of players and have this kind of season and get swept by Mizzou on your home field, Harrison, it is inexcusable no matter how you slice it up. So I don't think he survives it personally.
It's tough because of the expectations and coming into the season, but I think also the standard of how the season came to fruition from last year and losing your one game away from winning your first championship in a Power 3 sport in program history to how the season started, everything, expectations this year, the roster, the coaching staff, everything to what it is now. It's hard to imagine there probably isn't a change, but it's one of those things I don't know A&M donors, athletic department, AD, SID. I don't know a history of that enough to speak on it, but it feels like the conversations, I would hate to be a fly in that room. I think I would not want to be a fly on that wall. It leaves, I think, it leaves me and so many A&M fans speechless.
Yeah, it's hard to fathom. It's hard to believe. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I think their postseason hopes, though, are essentially toast, barring a super deep run in Hoover.
It's super deep run in the SEC tournament, yeah. Which, hey, never know.
Crazier things.
Hey,
I mean, this season
hit the over in SEC wins in the SEC tournament now.
No. That doesn't. No. That does not count. No, we're not doing that.
Regular season?
Oh, it's okay. Regular season.
Hey, you got 3 chances, Chris, to get one for you.
Yeah, they do. Be interesting.